Hi people, today I'm going to talk about Deborah Parker, also known by her native name Cici Alza. It's an activist and indigenous leader in the United States, a member of the Tulalip tribes of Washington. She served as its vice chairwoman from 2012 to 2015 and is, as of July 2018, a board member for Our Revolution and the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center. She is also co-founder of Indigenous Women Rights. She graduated from the University of Washington with a Bachelor of Arts in American Ethnic Studies and Sociology. Since graduating, Parker has been involved in numerous groups and organizations. Prior to working for the Tulalip tribes, Parker served as the director of the Residential Healing School of the Tsleil-Waututh First Nation and participated in the Treaty Task Force Office of the Louis Nation, wherein she was mentored by indigenous leaders such as Billy Frank Jr., Joy De La Cruz, Henry Cage, and Jekyll James. Later, she developed two programs for the Tulalip tribes: Young Mothers, a culturally relevant initiative for teen mothers, and the Tribal Tobacco Program. She began serving as vice chairwoman of the Tulalip tribes, becoming its only woman board member and its youngest member. After serving 3 terms as vice chair, she decided to not seek re-election in 2015 to focus more on her family and activism. While serving the Tulalip tribes, Parker continued to involve herself in improving education and political engagement among Native Americans in Washington. In January 25, she was elected as the treasurer for Choice and Consequence, a non-profit organization that promotes healthy practices among Washington youth. She later was promoted to its board of directors as the president. In 2006, she participated in the development of Nothing But Washington. Parker describes her activism and resilience to resist despite hardships as warrior status. She has been the recipient of numerous awards relating to her activism and tribal outreach, including the Native Nation Network's 2010 Enduring Spirit Award, the National Indian Education Association 2011 Parent of the Year Award, the Daughters of the American Revolution's 2013 Community Service Award, Clutch Fund's 2013 Pure Capoeira Valor Civic Participation Award. In September 2015, she was honored as the first of 50 in Indian Country Today's 50 Faces of Indian Country 2015. Parker was also the keynote speaker at the second annual Faith and Action Climate Fact conference in October 2017. Violence Against Women Act reauthorization. During the political battle leading of the 12-13 reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act, Parker was vital in the campaign that pushed for reauthorization, and her public testimony to Congress, in particular, was influential. She learned about the effort to pass the Violence Against Women Reauthorization Act of 2012 and the struggle that Murray's team were having with keeping support for a provision on tribal jurisdiction. According to the team, the reauthorization would likely fail, especially with the tribal provision, because the legislation lacked a phase after being asked whether she knew any stories that could help the effort. Parker asked to speak directly with Murray. Murray was on the Senate floor. At the time, she agreed to leave immediately to meet privately with Parker. Parker and Murray met later that afternoon to discuss the reauthorization bill and the inclusion of new provisions to allow tribal courts to prosecute non-Native Americans for crimes against women and families on tribal lands. She detailed in a press conference to Congress experiences both she and other women she knew had with violence and sexual abuse on reservations, describing herself as a Native American status. It was the first time Parker had publicly talked about the experience she had. The Senate passed the BAWA reauthorization the following day, with the protections for Native Americans included, though Republicans in the House of Representatives initially sought to remove them. Parker began to aggressively lobby in favor of the reauthorization and sought to convince members of Congress to support both it and its tribal provisions. So much so that then President Obama got to know her by her native name, and her thus bled from all the walking. She attended national cable news programs and provided interviews to newspapers across the country in support of the legislation. While lobbying the opponents of the bill, Parker felt she was up against some of the worst discrimination we'd ever seen in my entire life. Deborah Parker is a strong woman, proud of her roots. And that's all. Thank you guys for looking the video.